The Toronto Raptors took on the Milwaukee Bucks in what was kind of like the bronze medal game, this whole point system, Jonesy. I'm Savanna Hamilton alongside Paul Jones. You're watching Raptors today. Now, the Raptors did win against the Bucks 80-69. They went 4-1 over the course of the Summer League. What did you make of their performance?
Real success, Savanna. You think about it. You come to Summer League and you don't really know what to expect. You're trying to put it all together. You're trying to form chemistry. You're trying to develop players. Then you go out and you test that in a game. You see how it works. You come back to practice. You try and refine and do it again. And you think of the course of time that the Raptors did that. They finished 4-1. They really only had one, I wouldn't even say one bad game, probably a bad quarter and a half against Chicago when they went down big. And that's what hurt them, you know, when you think about eventually winning the championship. But overall, a great success. And this is something that we talk about. You develop things, you work on things to improve, and the Raptors definitely have a culture. And I define that as a way of doing things with expectations attached. You can look at the way they've done things in Summer League, look at the expectations. They finished 4-1, so I think overall a real solid success story over the course of the Summer League for
Listen, they just missed being in the finals. They just missed potentially getting one of those nice Summer League rings that we saw, Jonesy. But we do have to talk about Christian Koloko because I feel like, you know, we saw some growth in his game throughout the course of the Summer League.
Absolutely. You know, he did a terrific job. He comes in, doesn't know what to expect. There's a little bit of pressure on him as the pick that everybody's looking at, and you could see his comfort level grow over the course of the Summer League into the fifth game, where he arguably had one of his better games of the Summer League at the end. And you know, this is good for him. Good to catch up to all of the things that he's going to see regularly. This is not the college game where you've got 30 games and you practice a couple hours a day. This is a full-time commitment now, and I think he's got a taste of that through Summer League, and I look for his improvement to continue.
Yeah, we're going to hear from him right now because he spoke to us after the game.
Felt great. First time, you know, like you said, first time, and you know, I had the opportunity to play against some NBA talent and on NBA rules and under NBA rules. And for sure, I had a lot of up and downs in the summer league. But you know, at the end of the day, you know, it's a learning experience. It's the first time we play under NBA rules, and you know, just a learning experience. So I'm just going to learn from it.
I think just us finishing how we started. You watched the last game. We were playing hard on both ends, especially on the defensive end, and just keeping that intensity for those 2 weeks. I feel like that was probably the toughest job to do, and I feel like we did a great job at it.
Now, obviously, you didn't play today, but your teammates did. You know, what did you learn about your teammates throughout the course of the week?
That they were ready and they stayed ready. A lot of guys that you didn't have opportunity to watch play, like the last couple of weeks, they played today and they came and they did their thing. So I couldn't be more proud, and we got the win.
Now, Jonesy, a guy that stood out a lot in Summer League, and as he should, because he was actually a leader on this squad, has been Delano Banton. It's crazy to think that this is only his second year.
Well, he's been through a lot when you think about it. It started for him Summer League last year, up and down with the big team in 905, and then he comes back to Summer League, and it's not his first birthday party. He understands what he's working on, what the team wants him to work on, what his weaknesses are, and how he has to improve them. So, yeah, you might look at Delano and say he's the veteran of the team and a leader and somebody that other guys on the team would look towards. And I thought he did a really nice job over the Summer League. Again, honing his skills as a floor general, distributing the ball, learning when to score, when to get his teammates involved, making sure that he's looking after the ball and allowing the team to get quality looks at the basket and cutting down on his turnovers. And if you talk to him, he will always tell you he's a work in progress. I mean, that's what you are when you enter into this game. So good to see Delano kind of feeling more comfortable, getting those reps, improving his game, and I'm sure looking forward to bringing that to the big team once the regular season starts this year.
Absolutely. He's been tremendous on this Summer League team. But I have a name for you, Jeff Dalton Jr. What does that mean to you? Because he's been turning some heads.
Yeah, he has been. And, it's funny. I'm going to go way into the Wayback Machine. When I watch him play, and even the number he wore, number 20, and I look at his movements, his gait, the way he plays on the court, changing speed, using his quickness, getting into gaps. He reminds me of kind of a poor man's Michael Ray Richardson from back in the day, just watching him shake with the ball and the way he moves. And I like, you talk about his career path. I like the way it's progressing. He's learning. He's becoming a leader. You watch him with the Raptors, a guy handling the ball, running the offense, getting the guys into spots, getting the team into their offense. And if it's not Toronto, I'm sure he's opened some eyes from other teams around the NBA to say, this is a guy we want to keep an eye on. We could have him at the back end of our roster, maybe work his way into the rotation. I mean, you never know what happens during the season. We had all that COVID, outbreak last year. We're going to have injuries over the course of the year. So he's a guy that definitely will be on people's radar.
Oh, exactly. You keep him on that radar, too, because he's really showed out. But now we got to watch some highlights and hear from the team a little bit later.
The final day of the NBA 2K23 Summer League. So welcome to the NBA 2K23 Summer League, a fantastic showing of two teams that have had very strong appearances. The Milwaukee Bucks at 3-1, the Toronto Raptors at 3-1, set to take the court at Cox Pavilion in front of fans, excited to see the future stars of the league.
Yeah, but some good shots, some shots just not going in. That's a beautiful move right there by Ron Harper Jr. in transition that time.
You're talking about intangibles. Christian Vital out of UConn. Danny Hurley basically said he's one of the best leaders he's ever coached, as Koloko is feeling it early in this first quarter. Knocks it back, keeps the possession, but only 3 to shoot, and it's taken away. Vital the other way, to the basket, lays it home.
And that's a reason why, too, you see this lead extended for Toronto when Milwaukee was able to get some shots.
You have Scotty Barnes, who has really had this rise very quickly. He fits in with those guys, but an Achua, who is somewhat OG Anunoby, overlooked. They have all these guys who are overlooked, so they almost all have the same chip on their shoulder. Sims, back down, 5 to shoot. Tough one, got it.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting. Sims had a jump shot, probably mid-range. He could have shot, really didn't feel comfortable with it, so.
Into a crowd, now reload. Vital trying the play. Oh, nice adjustment. Oh, Hawkins on the cut and the finish.
You know, I mean, that's invaluable, especially when you're able to do it. And what invaluable is Ron Harper put that in. Stop everything else, my man. Fast break. Now you're able to learn on a daily basis. Now, what you can't do is be frustrated when the minutes are not there. You may not get called or whatever. It's a process.
Creating an 8-0 run for Milwaukee. They have trimmed it to 10. Matthew Hurt comes up short. Hannas tracks it down. Just like this, the Bucks have some life and a nice drive and finish, and the bench is on their feet for Marcus Grade.
Ultimate results in a nice little 2-point basket.
Nice kick out, and there's your man, Hawkins, with a big one. Toronto finishes their campaign in Vegas on a high note. An 11-point victory over the Milwaukee Bucks, and the Raptors will go home with a 4-1 Summer League record.
Abu, you finished with a double-double this game and shot 50% from the field. How did it feel out there today?
It felt really good. My teammates were doing a great job of finding me, and I was just trying to make the simple plays.
How do you stay focused? Because, you know, you didn't have as much of an opportunity through the course of the week, but you really showed out in this game.
Just been locked in. My teammates have been doing a great job of just keeping me locked in and motivated, and, you know, it's all of them.
What was head coach Eric Corey like for you? Because normally it was Gleason, but they switched up the roles.
I really liked Eric. That's my guy. That's my guy. You know, he can do it all. You know, he's a magic man, as we call him.
Coach, we got to see you be a head coach for this Game 5 of Summer League. How did that come about? You know, what was that conversation like with Trevor Gleason?
Yeah, Coach Trevor was really trying to help my coaching career and advancement and give me some reps in the head coaching position. So it was really kind of him to ask me if I was interested in the opportunity, and I was. So I was really excited for it.
What was it like for you?
It's great. I got a similar opportunity last summer with the 5th game, and then it's always good to get extra reps in it. You do it in practice here and there and during training camps and summer camps, but to do it for a full game and get the 2 hours in is always a great experience.
Now, Jonesy, this is our roll credits portion of Summer League.
Yeah.
This is our last Summer League show, and then we have a training camp, you know, some coverage there coming up. You can also catch a lot of coverage on Raptors.com, but give me your thoughts on just how Summer League went for you.
Well, Savanna, I know you can probably relate to this. You go to basketball camp, and at the beginning of the camp, there's kind of a scramble, a jamboree, where things start to form and you start to make teams, and then you watch over the course of a week of basketball camp, you watch kids improve, you watch teams improve, you watch chemistry form, you watch coaches understand what their players are doing. I think about Summer League in that same vein. And I pinpoint the Toronto Raptors in that sense, where, as we talked about earlier, they come together. I mean, the roster was put together. Guys didn't know each other. You see by the last game, guys are up cheering for one another. The chemistry's been formed. They understand what to do. The coaches understand the players better. They understand what roles they're supposed to be in. So for me, it's just a way to come and see constant improvement. And it's almost too bad the Summer League isn't the course of a month or 6 weeks, so you can have practices and really build this thing. But for some of the guys that were here, I'm sure they'll be getting a look, whether it be with a G League team, with an NBA team, with an international team in Europe or somewhere like that. So, I love Summer League for that because it just presents opportunities.
Yeah, I mean, this was my first Summer League ever. And so, I'm pretty happy to have covered it with you. And, it's just been a lot of fun, even just, being at the games. And it feels like AAU style where there's back-to-back-to-back games. But then at the same time, there's also tons of media events and, just basketball culture across Las Vegas. And that's very fun to be a part of.
It's kind of like the roots, right? You strip it down to the basics. There may not be a lot of people necessarily watching, but you're playing hard, you're in the gym, you're trying to show your wares to coaches, to people watching, to people evaluating to say, hey, I can play this game. I love that part about Summer League.
Oh, yeah, me too. But we got to wrap up the show from myself, Savanna Hamilton, Paul Jones, Jake, Patrick, and Evan. Thank you for watching another episode of Raptors Today.